While the Confederations Cup is just a warm-up for the World Cup, let's be honest, Germany just won it with their reserve team. It does provide a sample of what to expect for the following summer, including what sides could be of particular threat. Brazil seem to have a knack for the tournament, winning it 4 times since 1997. Let's take a look at their starting 11 from the 2005 Confederations Cup final, when they took Argentina apart 4-1. Dida. Celtic fans will remember Dida as the goalkeeper who rivaled Adam Sandler in the dreadful acting stakes when he called for medical treatment after being lightly tapped by a supporter during a Champions League game in 2007. However, the man is best known for his 10 years spent at AC Milan, where he made over 200 appearances, won 2 Champions Leagues, and became the first goalkeeper to be nominated for a Ballon d'Or. You might have thought he'd have won more than just one Serie A title in that time though. He left in 2010, spending the remaining 5 years of his career bouncing between clubs back in his homeland. And in 2006 he became the Selecao's first black goalkeeper to start in a World Cup since 1950, and is seen as an inspiration behind helping end prejudice against black goalkeepers in Brazilian football. Just don't put him in a ring with a Glaswegian. Cicinho. Cicinho will be a name familiar to most of you, but only because the man was an embodiment of wasted potential. In the summer of 2005, the 25-year-old had just won the Club World Cup with Sao Paulo, Confederations Cup with Brazil, and would soon be signing for arguably the biggest club on the planet in Real Madrid. By his own admission, they were signing an alcoholic. The Brazilian, who claimed he used to drink until he fell to the ground, was quickly booted out of the club. An ACL injury did not help matters. He spent 5 years at Roma, never really settled, and was farmed out on loan to Sao Paulo and Villarreal. He retired last year at the age of 36 at Turkish side Sivasspor with Roberto Carlos as the coach. And as far as his international career goes, he has not added to his 15 caps since 2006. Lucio. While Cicinho's career made for a scary bedtime story, Lucio went from strength to strength following that Confederations Cup. He was already an established defender at the age of 27, having completed his first season with Bayern Munich. He went on to spend 5 more years at the Allianz, before taking it to the next level with a move to Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan in 2009, where he won everything in his first season. The former Brazil captain also went on to play 2 more World Cups, and would score the winning goal in the 2009 Confederations Cup final against the USA. At the age of 39, he's still going strong at FC Goa in the Indian Super League, following spells at Juventus, Sao Paulo and Palmeiras. Roque Jr. Finally, a player who tried his hand at the Premier League. But unfortunately for Leeds United fans, this man was god-awful. The Ellen Road faithful are probably still baffled about how a World Cup winner can make an already struggling defence look even worse, as they conceded 24 times in his 7 appearances. He's gone on to do pretty much nothing at club level, barely contributing for MSV Duisburg, Al Rayyan, Palmeiras and Ituano, before retiring in 2010. He is, however, currently the manager of the latter, with the president being another little lad who tried his luck in the north of England. Keep an eye out for them. Gilberto. Gilberto was being groomed as the heir to Roberto Carlos midway through the 2000s. He never quite lived up to that billing. The Hertha Berlin left-back did keep his place for the 2006 World Cup, and even scored against Japan in the group stages, but soon lost his place to the likes of Kleber and André Santos. He made his way to the Premier League in January 2008 when Spurs drafted him in. The club's first ever Brazilian first teamer was also their worst. He made 7 so-so appearances before leaving for Cruzeiro after 18 months. He retired in 2012 with Brazilian side America Futebol Clube. Emerson, not to be confused with the lad who ended up at Middlesbrough in 1996 and who never came within a horse's whisper of an international call-up. Emerson finished his career as a decorated footballer, having represented some of the biggest clubs in Europe. He left Juventus in 2006, choosing not to waste his time with John Along Boomsong in Serie B, signing for Real Madrid, where he helped the club to the title in his only season. He also hung up his boots on the international stage following the 2006 World Cup, with 73 appearances for his country. He would go on to spend 2 years with AC Milan, before retiring in 2009 with Santos. However, in November 2015, he woke up, spent the money, and stepped out of retirement at the age of 39, joining Miami-Dade FC. He recently helped the club go through the 2017 season unbeaten. Kaká. A star at the Confederations Cup, Kaká scored in the final against Argentina, but let's be honest, he was already a magician on the European stage anyway, having tortured Liverpool for 45 minutes in a Champions League final that still boggles the mind. The 23-year-old would go on to correct matters 2 years later, set a world transfer record, albeit for about 5 minutes, and scored 29 goals in 92 games for his country. He might have hoped to have sustained a bit more longevity during his career though. The blockbuster move to Real Madrid in 2009 might have upset Man City fans, but they would have quickly dried their eyes once they realised the Brazilian might not have been worth 100 million quid after all. Injuries hampered his 4-year spell at the Bernabeu, and while he shot in patches, inconsistency plagued him and he was pretty much outdone by Mesut Ozil. He returned to AC Milan on loan, but like so many others who have revisited the old flames, it wasn't what it once was with his former beau. At 35, he's currently in the MLS with Orlando City, where, as you can imagine, for him it's like playing FIFA on amateur mode. Zé Roberto. When Zé Roberto hung up his international boots following the 2006 World Cup, after 84 caps, you might have thought the then 31-year-old did not have much left in the tank. Well, it's 11 years later and the former Real Madrid man is still going strong, having recently signed a new contract with Palmeiras to remain at the club until the end of 2017. Since 2005, Zé Roberto has played for Bayern Munich, Santos, Bayern Munich again, Hamburg, Al Jarafa, Gremio and now Palmeiras, adding silverware to a glittering trophy cabinet. Ronaldinho. Here you go, the man you've been waiting for, the one who looked like he was about to burst into laughter every time he had ruined a fullback's career. David Seaman still gets nightmares about this man, no doubt. The Brazilian sensation is one of the most iconic footballing greats of our generation, lighting up the sport before Ronaldo and Messi found a way to make everyone look inferior. He went on to win the Ballon d'Or in 2005, inspired Barcelona to a Champions League title, although the fun lover found the nightclubs a bit too much to resist, grew a beer belly and Pep Guardiola booted him out in an instant, before he had the chance to turn Lionel Messi into his drinking buddy. He spent 3 years at AC Milan, winning a league title in 2010, before leaving Europe in 2011 at the age of 31. He's since lined out for Flamengo, Atletico Mineiro, Querétaro and Fluminense. The Confederations Cup all-time leading goal scorer with 9 has not played at a World Cup in 11 years. It's been a sad decline for a man who should have cemented his legacy with further Ballon d'Ors and Champions Leagues, instead of getting offers from Basingstoke Town at the age of 34. Robinho. Neymar has cited Robinho as one of his heroes. As long as he doesn't emulate his career, he'll be doing alright. Like the Barcelona superstar, the Brazilian forward was dubbed the second coming of Pelé when he broke through at Santos in 2002 and made his international debut the following year at the age of 19. The exciting forward was snapped up by Real Madrid following the culmination of the Confederations Cup and was the third highest scorer for the club during his 4 years at the Bernabeu, with 35 goals in 135 games. And then it happened. Chelsea announced they'd signed him. He turned up at Manchester City instead, presumably not giving two hoots who he was signing for, as long as they produced the dollar bills. Sure, why else would you decide to play with Wayne Bridge and Talbenheim? He ended up being an expensive lesson, leaving for AC Milan 2 years later, where after a positive first season, he proceeded to score 11 goals in 74 games. Moves to Santos and Guangzhou Evergrande followed, before ending up at Atletico Mineiro, where at the age of 33 his potential is very much unfulfilled. Having said that, the man does have 100 caps for his country, so am I being too harsh? Adriano. We've covered some players who did not live up to the billing so far, but none compared to the tragic demise of Adriano. 12 years ago, the 23-year-old was hailed as Ronaldo's successor and would be among Europe's biggest threats. He was even within a whisker of a move to Chelsea, as part of a swap deal for Didier Drogba. The explosive frontman had been named player of the tournament at the Confederations Cup, winning the Golden Boot with 5 goals. The following summer he managed just 5 shots at the 2006 World Cup. The former Inter Milan hitman fell on hard times following his father's death in late 2004, with a culmination of depression and alcoholism effectively destroying his career. By his own admission, the man partied every night and consistently reported for training drunk. Despite Jose Mourinho fighting for him, the club grew weary of his troubled ways and parted company in 2009. He's since spent time at Flamengo, Roma, Corinthians and Atletico Paranaense, barely featuring for any of his employers. He's currently on the books of Miami United, and at the age of 35 he hasn't featured for his country in 7 years. His career pretty much ended in the Italian nightclubs over 10 years ago. He's recently admitted that he's too overweight to resume his career, but according to former teammate Leo Mora, at least he's finally found happiness. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and make sure you check out Footy Feed for all the latest transfer rumours and news.